Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're just gonna do a quick talk. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes and hopefully people come on through. This is Super Mike. We're gonna talk about mental health a little bit in the black community, love for the family. All right. Let's see. This is mental health. We got a lot of people out here that's suffering. A lot of our people are out here mentally stressed out, no matter whether you got money, whether you are poor. A lot of people have issues with their marriage. I mean, there's just just intense, mental trauma out here, based on, just the stresses of this society that Black folks going through. So I did want to get into a talk with mental health and see if we could maybe have a couple conversations. You never know. We might not be able to. But I think it's so much stuff out here that we can't just go into, everything. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. So I would like to have an open conversation. And if anybody wants to click the link, I put it over there on Facebook. If you see this and you're on Facebook, go ahead and click the link. And if you want to come on YouTube or Twitch, you can click this link here that I'm going to put in this screen. And we're going to talk about it. Really, what I want to talk about is the language, communication. I think communication style, our tone of voice, just all of that is very important when we're dealing with mental health. Also, the chemical makeup of what we eat, just the foods that we eat, the amount and the type of foods that we eat. This is something that we miss over because a lot of times we focus on each and individual situation that we may have. And we forget that we are chemical beings. And our mood is dependent on our moods are dependent on, our health. The levels of hormone levels, all of the various ratios that we're supposed to have, our serotonin, our noradrenaline. We got a mental health issue in the Black community. Can we talk about it? We might not be able to talk about it. Might be too much to talk about. There you go. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, man? Hold on. Let me turn this down. That's what it is. I messed up. Hold on a second. Let me turn this down. All right, there you go. What's up, bro?
I wanted to come through and support We actually chatted up on your couch this time. I actually
Yeah,
want to come
yeah.
through.
I'm glad you did. Yeah, I'm glad you did, everybody. This is BMT. This is like probably my inspiration to do all the little stuff that I'm striving to do. So, you know, I'm glad you came over, brother. What you think about this mental health thing? Because I know this is actually a big thing that you pull up.
This is very much so really a big issue that us as Black people and the diaspora, but mainly the Black American diaspora, we've
Yeah.
been dealing with this for a while. We've been dealing with this for a while, and a lot of people like to just skip over and not look at this.
Mm.
Your people don't survive slavery, beating, lynching, rape, humiliation, being being recategorized over and over and over and over and over again, and then you just send them out to the wild and say, "Okay,
Yep.
now be normal." Not even a lion that's kept in bondage can just be thrown back into the safari. It wouldn't survive.
Exactly.
It actually would have. So if that down to the animal kingdom, they know that the animal won't be able to survive. And this is something that they know with animals that are kept in bondage for a while. They know that you can't just put them back out there.
Exactly.
And we have it where this is why we done sought out spirituality. This is why we done sought out philosophy. Something to try to fill in the gap of trying to make sense of what happened to us.
Mm.
I can understand that because me being a veteran, and all that stuff that I done seen and did and went through, even to this day, I'm still trying to psychologically piece and put together. I may have the money, I may have the life, I may look like, hey, I got it, but what parts of me I don't got? And that's every Black individual from not even including slavery, the Black codes. I don't know why
Yep.
we don't count that as an era. The Black codes were put out on us. Then we have Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the heroin that went into the heroin, then the crack epidemic.
Yeah.
Then we had the 90s of another recession. Yeah. Now we have COVID. Yeah. So when is it
people coming out of jail all the time?
Right. So when did we have time to really get our stuff together?
And that's what I'd be saying too. I've asking people, they be complaining. I'm like, okay, and that's true. Everything somebody might say is true. I'm like, okay, but what did you expect? Why are you expecting something? What are you expecting? Like, the work haven't been really done. You know what I'm saying? To kind of work with us. Because I actually had this conversation over there on Twitter. And that'd be a good spot for you to. I know you'll blow up over there too, because this is a big thing over there.
Well, I think if I gotta go somewhere, I think I'd rather me and you go together.
Right.
And I don't mind. Listen, I'm like at this point now, I'm far removed from the hype of the numbers.
Right.
Because I'm not here for the feel good. I think I gotta give you your flowers, and you pushing me in that direction. Do I want to be that guy that says what people want to hear to make them feel complacently safe? Or do I want to be that guy? You know what I'm saying? But us as fathers, we can tell our family just what they want to hear. But that wouldn't be doing our family a service.
Mm-hmm.
Versus telling them, hey, y'all, I got to let y'all know. Bill's going to be a little bit tight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But Dad, listen, I know y'all, the summer coming up, but listen, we got to catch up on these bills. Everybody got to play their part.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be that guy. And see, we ain't trying to sell the doom and gloom. We try to share the wins and the goods and the bads. But we definitely, that's why I did yesterday. I said, hey, a lot of men. We know the women have daddy issues and issues with their mothers, but we know more so because men, you are the founding building blocks. A lot of men have daddy issues. A
That's
lot
a
of
big.
men are lost.
I truly myself, myself. I think it's so important. Like, yeah, this is like one of the biggest things. It's like so many spaces to start off with us, but to me, I know we need professional help. So that's number one. That's true.
Mhm.
But guess what? We ain't about that many people ain't going for no professional help like that. So I think it's real good for us to look for some at least some simple ways that some people can find some techniques that will work for them to at least start to relieve some of this. I mean, because like we're dealing with some serious stuff. This ain't no lightweight stuff that we out here dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is some serious stuff, death, rape, you know, trains and drugs and homelessness and murder. Bro, this is some serious stuff. This ain't no lightweight stuff. But at the same time, if we're still alive and walking the street, uh, other people have healed. I'm not saying you can be necessarily completely whole or what have you again ever like you used to be, but at least you can create yourself into a functional human being that can at least take care of a child, right? And get that child to where they don't have to experience some of the bullshit that you had to go through. Because this is what that's my at least for people. Like at least this is where you could be. You got some children, and if you stop taking all the brunts and the bruises from the arrows and the life of evil, okay, you could protect them kids. But if you want to check yourself out of the game, then the kids have to live, and there's nothing stopping them. They're going to have to go through what you could have saved them from. So that's kind of where I'm at with some of this mental health, and I'm trying to give people, some steps here. Like like I'm trying to figure out like what's some steps that you learn because like the way I look at certain things is, and you look at certain things because your life experiences is different, right? A little bit different, but it's some similarities in there. I myself know that this is why YouTube is probably popular. No matter what we say, it's gonna be popular is because people get to vent some of their bullshit. And that's therapeutic for some of them. Now it may not be the best place though.
Right.
What you say?
I don't think YouTube is a safe place because the black mindset is so easily exploited. It is one of the most exploited um, tools in America. It is.
Mm,
You need a political talking point. Grab a Negro. You need something for war. Get a Negro. You
right.
need a lower vantage point to talk on why we do. Grab the Negro for immigration. Grab the Negro for policy. Grab the Negro for welfare. Grab the Negro for family. We are the most used by far demographic for crime, for rape, abuse. So at this point, I don't. This is why I'm very cautious now about what I say online
Right.
because I understand people will look. They don't. They like to use us,
Mm,
men and women,
the
and
canary.
children, to a narrative, and to what narrative is dangerous. Uh, I know you like for the honorable um um Farrakhan, they got him painted as a terrorist.
Right.
Now I went back to listen to what some of this man say. I'm not. part of that affiliation, but
Right.
it's not in a good light.
Mm-hmm.
Now we call him honorable. Do other groups call him honorable? No. But we give him that respect. But then again, they'll say that we don't value family or value a culture. But
Right.
honoring and telling a man he's an honorable man or woman, that is a culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're allowed to build someone else.
Right.
But
Yeah.
don't you ever build. The slave is not allowed to build himself up.
Yeah.
You can praise the master, but don't you praise yourself or your own.
Because don't they call judges honorable?
Yes. Stand for the honorable judge. And people don't understand what that means when they make them do that. Stand for the honorable judge. Stand for that. But that's there's a lot behind that. I actually, if you're good at studying these kind of things, check that out. Why do they make us stand for the honorable judge when we know this system has been anything but honorable?
Yeah, I was just over there talking to Dynas. They had a little conversation. I was just talking to them about, it's just like you were saying, we deserve something. See, every time people shame the black man and the black woman for saying, "Oh, you're entitled." This entitlement mentality, as if we're wrong. We are entitled. We're alive. Everybody else is getting something. We're entitled. Okay, what's wrong with that? Oh, you're in a victim mentality. Okay, well, then they want to. We have been. I mean, some of the stuff that has happened to us, we are victims. Like we're not going to stay there, right? But okay, it happened. So we can't pretend like, oh, we're just gonna probably pretend like these certain things did not happen because I don't want to take on a victim mentality. I don't want nobody calling me a victim. Bro, the history is the history. It is what it is. We're not gonna stay there, but yeah, we got to go through our little healing process. What's wrong with that? Why should we be embarrassed to admit that we have been some victims? Okay, are we going to stay there? No, but we got to go through our process so that we can get our better behavior going. They stopping you from wanting to go through your victim process. They stop you from wanting to be entitled to the benefits that you are entitled to as a human being that's working and trying to do the right thing. That's part of your mental health. It's going to break you down. You keep having these conflicting ideologies, you see. So that's kind of I wanted to get your take on this here. This is these people, this actually a situation. This is a specific situation. I don't know if you ever heard of some of this here, but this woman, I wanted to get it from the male and female perspective.
Right.
There were several points. I was trying to wait for some women to come up, but they might come up later. You never know. But this girl, she had her mother
in the house, making sure laundry's done, so people just making people's life easier. It's that kind of support for me. And to touch on with political.
Hold on.
Support. I agree with you.
This is mental health talk.
Okay,
too.
All right. Well, anyway,
but that's not where her emotional intelligence possibly.
All right, so yeah, they wanted to argue, and I there was some things on here. I'm not getting into the controversy part of it, but I'm trying to get to the certain part so we can have the discussion.
A job.
You keep doing it.
I don't want that part because he was acting.
Okay, so furthermore, being the support of the household is just kind of like, it's not a job, in my opinion. I feel as if, oh my God, you messed me up. Anyway, it's support. It's support because I'm supporting my family by cooking, you know what I'm saying, making sure people are fed, whether if it's doing chores in the house, making sure, laundry's done, so people, just making people's life easier. It's that kind of support for me. And to touch on with political, what he
Politically
was saying.
petty.
Oh, yes, sir. politically. So I feel, let me say this, Jesus Christ. Let me tell you, for me, I have a bachelor's degree in child development.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when you are in a healthy environment and you're raising children, I see your viewpoint and where you are coming from as an individual. As far as you should not yell at kids, you should not treat them a certain way, because when you are in that healthy setting, that environment, it's very effective and it does help the children. But I'm also a mother of 4 children myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just not too long ago a single mother of 3 children. And when you are home by yourself and you are dealing with all these kids, all their different emotions, and it's just a crazy transition, because even though at one point in time I was in a room with 22 2-year-olds, literally. I was taking care of 11 2-year-olds by myself, but I'm at home with 3 children, and the dynamic is completely different. And you do get frustrated, and you are trying to deal with everything at once, and you yell at your children. Even me, my kids, I can be the sweetest thing. I try to use the things that I learned to talk to my children and be like, hey, let's do this. Guys, let's turn our attention to this. Hey, 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 hey. No one's listening. But then it's like, hello, do you not hear me talking to you? Get up and let's go. You have to do that at times. And what's the caller was saying, like, about having that man's voice. My daddy has never put his hands on me in my life. I'm 24 years old. My daddy has never popped me. He has never spanked me. He has never done anything. All my dad had to do was raise his voice at me, and I would get in check. And I live with my father. So I feel like having a man in the home is very, very important, because it does weigh it out. Because when it's your mom, you're comfortable with your mom. You come from your mom. She pushes you out the vagina. You know what I'm saying? You're not uncomfortable to show your mom your private parts. You know what I'm saying? That's your safe space. That's your second person. So it's easy to disobey your mom or disagree with her. But your dad, or another figure in your life, you have more respect, in my opinion.
What did you think about that? About her overall tone? About, because actually in that situation, I didn't want to play it off. But the thing is, what I didn't like is that when men and women sometimes come together, the way that we express ourselves a little differently. The brother that was hosting the space was trying to dictate how she says what she says.
Mhm.
I didn't really like that, but she ended up saying it. But what did you get from any of that?
One, she was telling her experience
Right.
as a
Mother.
woman,
Yeah.
and as a mother. Okay. One to first to also, and I see this a lot, especially with a lot of women, but in Black people, namely, they always let you know their degree of knowledge.
You picked up on that same thing, and I didn't even say nothing. Go ahead, keep going.
They always let you know the degree of knowledge to say, "Hey, listen to me. I have this study." You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You shouldn't have to feel like just being a mother, and you and I understand. Women back when we were coming up, you
Right.
saying you was a mother was already a degree in itself of
Right.
power. You know what I'm saying? But now they don't feel like that is a degree of power. They feel like, well, shit, that ain't nothing. Me having this paper that's given to me by the land that says I'm somebody. And we definitely have it where when people tell of their tangible experience, um, the talking on, well, my father never do that. Then we know that she's young.
Yeah.
I'm very curious on what was the role of the father in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Was he actually the father, or was he the baby father? And that's something for more of another talk. But I can understand, like, listen, raising or dealing with kids at a daycare
Right.
and kids in your house, two totally different playing fields.
Yeah.
Me and you have taught other people outside of our home, but that lesson of tutelage versus how we are with our actual children, that's a more in depth. Other groups know to separate that. Hey, I'm a teacher here. When you get home, that's a whole different lesson. And seeing where she's at in her mind, because the brother didn't want to hear what she had to say. Though
Yeah.
he really didn't want to hear what she had to say. He did, because she was saying that she was agreeing that, hey, yeah, we need. I understand the importance of having a man in the home, which is good. Which is good. We want to have that empathy, that empathy echoing chamber, not just for have the fathers in the home, but also have the mothers in the home also.
Right.
Because now the mothers don't want to be in the home.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. With that little exchange right there, you know that guy's name was Politically Petty, and you know how people politics argue. You know the way I can't stand the political style of talking. The way they want to pick up on every little thing and mess you up. So this girl was talking about, you know, she had 3 kids prior to that. She met this African guy. She had a problem with the and this is all in that recording, so I'm not telling you something that she ain't say already. It's just she did it. So she had a situation where she was angry with the mom, the Nigerians, his mama didn't like her. She said that she was doing voodoo and stuff on her. So maybe. But of course, she got 3 other kids. She don't want to break up her family. And the first thing out of one woman's mouth was leave him and yada yada. So we stepped in. We was like, no, there's you can work this out. This is just family stuff, drama. Right. So she was talking about how she felt like she had to be the man and the woman because whatever. And this guy, I guess that triggered him. No, you don't have to be the man, And she was saying how she has to raise her voice. And that theme of education popped up. And sometimes I'm thinking this question here. This makes me think about this. Like some of our people, we think book smart. Like, how do we balance this book smart stuff? Because there's a lot of us that got this little book smarts and degrees, and we work so hard for these little degrees. But when we start actually trying to put this stuff into practice, it don't really work like we thought it should work.
Right.
And a lot of us get disappointed and we get mad at our own family because we didn't know how to apply something that we thought school told us. And they're not listening. They're not doing it right. That's the reason why Black people ain't nothing, because they're not educated. And, we start blaming everybody because our little degree stuff didn't work. This creates like a disconnect. Like I just mentioned our friend, D. Durrell. I love D. Durrell, and he be applying his stuff, but I wish he was here because that would be something I would like to ask him. I would like to ask people who have the degrees and be like, I'm trying to understand, like, okay, how do we adjust? Because I think a lot of the way this stuff is taught in these schools to like the colleges, because my grandmother had like master in psychology and all this kind of stuff, and she had a hard time with us because the techniques that she was trying to use, we was like, this is stupid. We're not. It doesn't really work with us like that because we're not respecting you, and you're coming across as basically like it made us feel like she was calling us stupid. It made us feel like she was saying like, now, if you want to say something, is something happening to you? Like she was insinuating things, and we were like, we're not talking to this woman.
That's what I'm saying, man. A lot of mentally distraught people are getting on panels, trying to piece together the family of 1930, 1940. Right. They're trying to piece together, but we have to tell them, listen, y'all, them days are gone. Them days are gone. Listen, y'all trying to put together the burn down portrait that we can't recreate that. The system has already done proven and shown us. Watch the way you put your hand on your kid. Watch the
Yep.
way you talk to your woman. Watch the way you maneuver. Watch the way how you spend your money. If you talk to your kid a certain type of way, they can say that's abuse. You say something to your woman, and literally y'all can have a disagreement. And there have been times where some men and some women have gotten into disagreements, and the man still go to jail.
Yep.
But the state presses charges. There'll be some time where the woman, she had a situation. She had a situation, and you know what I'm saying? And for some of us, listen, y'all, we've been raised by our parents on how to keep the house functional. While mama go to Dollar Tree or to the corner store. You can't do that no more. Mm-hmm. I hear a lot of people when they try to talk about how the family should be, but the family can't go that way no more.
Mm-hmm.
We're not there anymore. And no offense.
Exactly.
But,
yeah. That's right. I see what you're saying too. Keep going.
So we've been inhibited from being able to try to recreate that model. It's been a really dire time. The frustration of a man that you're telling me to be like this man. You're telling me to be like that man. But you never let me be a man. And you'll have it in a society where they'll say, well, ain't nobody stopping you, black man.
Yeah.
Say,
that's gaslight, ain't it?
Almost. Right, it is gaslighting. It is a very gaslighting thing.
Yeah, we know we can name all of these things that we're as a group too. It's not even just, it's like all these different screens that you gotta and hoops you gotta jump through. And they'd be like, what's wrong?
Right. And so that right there, y'all, this is why you're now starting to see one of the eruptions in mental breakdown of black society.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now we have the diasporas are now coming in, and even them, our cousins are saying, "Man, y'all are lazy. Y'all clean up y'all floors." Well, hold up. You're calling us lazy, but you don't know what we go through in the house.
Right.
You're not here to see what Mike gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talk about culture. Well, y'all are uncultured children. Hold up.
Yeah.
We built this American culture. This is very much so ours. The same thing y'all bank off of. When you come over here and you talk about trade, business, X, Y, and Z. Of course, that was us.
And they don't know that. A lot of them don't. A lot of them, some of them do, but a lot of them, we see it. Yeah. And my thing is like this. It's like we got to understand, like, this is the day-to-day stuff that we're going to have to understand. Like, we got to pay attention to this. Like, let's say at least a couple of times a month, we got to be like, okay, this is a service. Like, we got to talk about this open air. We got to expect some weird stuff. Like, I think this one dude came on here. I was trying to find the spot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but this one dude came on here. He had some real serious issues about rape, and I think he had cancer and stuff like that. And nobody could really advise him. We knew we weren't professionals, but sometimes just sitting there and just letting people just repeat it. That right there, just alone, sometimes that by itself, you'd be surprised how that can help people. you can't really, we're not professionals. We can't really advise these people. Of course, if they, talking about harming themselves or harming somebody else, yeah. But, when people are just kind of putting out their experiences and stuff, I think that's important. And I just think one of the things that I get is like, some of us, if we have a hard time listening to others, but we want folks to listen to us. And I think that was one of the pieces in here I was trying to find, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. But yeah. Go ahead and let me see if I can find this one part, but I might not be able to. Shoot. Yeah, this dude. Let me see. Because James Baldwin.
To answer that question, my emotional awareness is definitely one that is spirited. And it tends to be one that, awareness where I
think this is it. Hold on.
About me, Jimmy.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to say that. Hopefully, I answered it for you.
Okay, so that was politically petty. But listen to this part. This one guy comes on, and I mean, I try not to. I guess some people are just naturally triggering, and we'll see what you say about this, because this is another thing I wanted to get in before we left. I just want to show people too that this is, like I said, some of this stuff is boring to people because it's not about flashness, it's about service. But this is the part that I wanted to touch on before I leave. Oh, hold on. Shit. We'll do it this way. Right here. Balancing. You know what? Hormones that affect your mood. A lot of us don't understand that. A lot of times our mental health, if you ever remember on TV when they play those commercials about if you take NVIDIA or this drug or that drug, they'll say you'll have thoughts of suicide. You ever heard that? BMT, you there? Oh, I can't hear you if you are there. But like, excuse me. But no, this there right here. A lot of times we don't understand that just being healthy. What's going on? Just being healthy it will help our mental health. Drinking water, making sure that we get the right nutrients and stuff like that, that's going to help our mental health. Just what's going on? BMT, you there? Okay. No, but yeah, let me just go through this here. I want to read some of this. Through the highs and lows, here are some hormones that affect your mood. Why hormones can make you stressed, tired, and experience cravings. So we got to understand this. These hormones are in our foods. And also our foods can help us to make hormones in our bodies. We got to understand, like, our health, also our physical health will translate and work with our mental health. A lot of times our moods is not necessarily just about dealing with whatever situation that we got to deal with in our life. You know what I'm saying? When your hormones are balanced, your mood is generally good. When they are not balanced, you feel stressed or tired and have food cravings. However, hormone levels fluctuate all the time in both men and women. So this is what changes hormones levels. I'm gonna put this in the chat because people need to understand, like, there's some real little steps you could take. This ain't professional stuff. Like, we ain't trying to, everybody need professional help and everything, but like, these are some basic stuffs. I just want to put this out here. Like, these are some basic stuff that people can do just to, give yourself the best chance to keep a good mood, because the world is already too stressful. You can't be out here wanting to, take yourself out just because you ain't eat the right foods. You know what I'm saying? Hey, BMT, you still there? I hear you cutting in and out. It seems like. Oh, you must have went to sleep or something. Anyway, let me do it this way. Okay. Nah, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this here. I just wanted everybody to listen to this part.
Again, thank everybody for sharing. King James Baldwin, what you got for us? How would you describe being a male in one word for you? And please elaborate.
Well, before I elaborate, one of the things that I wanted to address or touch on, it seems that, when I've been in this space for a minute, and you titled it Emotional Awareness and Intelligence, and regrettably, in my opinion, but it's your room, it's sort of coming down to gender roles. And we're spending a lot of time talking about the male and the female, when it was my understanding when you started it, this was about me, as my name is James, and it happens to be James Baldwin. It was about me, Jimmy, and not about my role as a male. It was about me as a person and my emotional awareness. And it's about that, a bigger I statement, and not looking at, well, how I'm doing this over here with this child, or this is what I feel about this. I thought we were talking more about where we are with our emotional intelligence, because I don't want to talk about my role as a male, because I'm not going to talk about my gender role, because that's a gender role conversation. My emotional awareness is, I tend to be, to answer that question, my emotional awareness is definitely one that is spirited.
Now, obviously, the brother, he did later on say that he was LGBTQ, but I guess the gender topic triggered him, and he kind of wanted to. I mean, he kind of took over the floor a little bit. He actually took over the floor a lot, but it's like that was interesting. So, I mean, I encourage some of us to get into some of these conversations, but I think we end up meeting he was a little hostile actually at one point in the conversation, but I think because that particular guy, he was a little hostile at one point in the conversation because he felt like whatever he felt like, but nobody really interrupted him too much, and he got a lot of stuff off his chest, and then he became a little bit easier to deal with. You was over there asleep, huh?
I was listening to my daughter. She's right there, and I just sometimes, like, she's sitting there with, sometimes, Mike. There's very few men and women I can feel safe that I can allow my children to listen to, because of where they at. Right into that one, baby. Go this. Go get that other part. I can allow them. I told people on my panel, I said, I do not feel safe to mentally allow y'all around my children. And these people have children.
Right.
But they're dealing with some stuff mentally and psychologically and spiritually that they have not yet let go. I've been abused. I've had issues. I had demons. But I had to get myself together so I can start making that walk, or start having it where other people deal with our children. See, at the end of the day, when we're gone, it's just going to be them.
Right.
And we have to start asking, what kind of fundamentals, not just money, kind of fundamentals are we building up? How do you want to be viewed? Do you trust these type of people around your children?
That's right. Now let me ask you this, because you, like you said, you have some demons and you've been through some traumatic situations. Do you think, because you've been able to talk about them things, because there's a lot of people who've been through some stuff that's so embarrassing. Like my grandmother, she told me some stuff, and when she finally told me some of the stuff, what it wasn't that big of a deal, but to her, it was so traumatized. She was hiding it, she was lying about it, because she had got pregnant. She was saying how she had got pregnant with with my father, with a guy. She was like 14, and this man was like, Noah Scott, I believe his name was, like 35 or something like that. And but she had been lying about that, and nowadays that's kind of happening all over the place. But that had traumatized her, just because she felt like she had to hide. And she felt like, I guess we would be ashamed that, or whatever. But, being able to talk about certain stuff, what do you think that does? What does it do for you? Or can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah,
You hear me
okay.
now?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
All right, there you go. Listen, y'all, I've had my issues with my daddy. Now I'm a daddy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't bring those things on that I had out from my mama, from my daddy, because we didn't have the perfect Huxtable family.
Right.
And a lot of wayward black people are going through that. And see, whenever they show the imagery of a family, it's not us. And if it is us, there ain't no man in that picture. It's something else.
Mm.
And so that right there is very problematic. We had a talk yesterday about the stuff, and some men felt some type of way. But I said what I said, but I understand how y'all are maneuvering. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You're just trying to survive, but you're not actually living. You're not actually thriving. And this is something that most black men, this is why they throw their hands up and give up. Same thing for the women.
Right. Yeah, because I think like this is like for me, like I guess I don't know, I guess I got less triggers, but I think a lot of people, we get triggered out here with and we feel like we got to go to battle with some people. Some people we do got to go to battle with, but some people are just doing a cry for help, like, and a lot of times, like you said, that goes back to the childhood. The parents let them get exposed to too much. Maybe mama had to work, or maybe the people that came over the house was crazy. So I don't know what. It was all kind of stuff that's going on, and then a lot of times we're made to feel ashamed because something happened to us, as if it's our fault, but it's not. We need to be aware that when things happen to you, that's not really your fault. You know what I mean? Because something that now there's stuff that we've done to other people, and we feel bad about what we did to somebody else, but really what's affecting us is what has been done to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you get the different kinds of behaviors that comes out of this, where people be trying to hide stuff, and then they have these different ideas about stuff, and then they feel embarrassed that they had these ideas, but a lot of this stuff is based on what they went through. You know what I'm saying? What did you do today? Hey, BMT.
Uh-huh.
Did you go to that? I seen you had that event at work. What was that?
That was the buying power of Jamaicans.
Uh-huh.
That was the buying power of a black covenant of men and women that pushed out every other group to show that we can take this whole place.
Uh-huh.
And I wasn't mad. But they allowed. But I'm Geechee Gullah, and we had a good conversation. And one of the older men, and I won't say the man's name, but he's definitely a key player
Mhm.
in my city. And I even sometimes shared. He they y'all don't they be listening.
Uh-huh.
Other groups of blacks listen to what we talk about, and they learn from
See?
what we do,
Mm.
and they capitalize on that.
I'm not mad at that. My thing is, if we can get ourselves, if we can get people in certain groups to start doing some of this stuff, this is what the mental health part is. We got to understand, like, this is stuff that we can do. We can do it. We deserve to get this stuff done for ourselves.
Well, see, right there, Mike. We are doing that too.
Mhm.
Understand? Me and you are products, and I was
Mhm.
gonna do that with that guy Don Greedo, and I
Right.
told him we're products of the crack baby era.
Right. That's true.
And see,
I
a
know
lot of
that.
people feel ashamed. I tell them I'm a crack baby era baby.
Mhm.
Whoa, god dang, BMT, like, no, I am.
Do you know they start stigmatizing? Dang, that's deep. They start stigmatizing crack baby before the babies was born.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's crazy.
But that's where we came from.
Yeah.
We came from when they had the paddy wagon and were rounding up blacks in the truck. We came from when there was a dysfunctional thing. We came from that time where there was if one man got incarcerated, another man stepped in. You might
Right.
have to get a stepdad. I had a stepdaddy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? My dad he came back from Vietnam, didn't get the full help. Guess what? Time came up to pay. Another. My stepfather stepped in.
Right. That's good.
And so you would give the black woman. This is why they have a little bit of a disdainment of being at home because well, when we were the housewife, y'all called us lazy.
Right.
Y'all said that we ain't doing next X, Y, and Z. But we saw how grandma got treated. So why would I want to be in that position? And I see how y'all talk about, what I'm saying? Shout out to our the women that
Mhm.
are in the home.
Right.
But if they don't mind attacking the men, why wouldn't they attack the woman?
Mm. Because they need her. They want to entice her to kind of help them out, maybe.
Mm.
Well, I mean, you create that divide, then you're gonna always get conflict, extra conflicts, because it's already conflict, but you get more. So yeah, but I thought that was interesting that when you was talking about the crackberry era, because this is where a lot of dysfunction too comes in our neighborhoods. And a lot of times we don't understand, like, you got to start dealing with that. You got to start undoing some of that stigmatizing stuff because, I was in houses where my cousins got raided. My cousin's house got raided. My aunts, their family had a lot of that going on. And then I had
Yeah.
friends, good people, real good people. I couldn't believe that, the father had got addicted to drugs. And it was like, this is a good man, this is a good woman. The children are good, our friends. And it was like, why is this man taking drugs? Like, we couldn't hardly understand that. But these are the type of things that people need help with. And like, people can't get help when they're scared to even admit something because they can, at least they feel like they have a safety and protection in denial, like, nah, that ain't me, that's everybody else. And so what they do is they do all of this, they create all this different behavior, like they start attacking other people, you know
Right.
right, they'll start attacking other people to try to belittle them so that way they can feel better and feel more safe. Like nobody will ever suspect me of being dysfunctional myself. But all of that stuff got to be pulled out, and I don't think it's enough professionals to get that done. So some of this stuff going to have to be, people going to have to learn some practical ways on how to help the family. You know what I mean? We can't keep pushing everything to everybody got to go to school for it. I mean, true enough, you got to get educated to do some of this stuff, but I really believe in, like, we got to push some of this real deal mental health, practical stuff. As soon as you hear it, you can start using it right away. Some real stuff, like I said, the diet stuff, and just like you said, just talking. Like a lot of us, we don't understand, like talking. To me, that's a big deal. Like even our family, like I got family, they go out there, they want to try to do something first. They get an idea in their head. They want to go out there and do it when they got resources. And then of course it don't work but somebody could have told them. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody too, we about to, it's almost about an hour, so we about to end this here. But like y'all can put stuff in the chat and the comment section, any sources for mental health. I'll probably do this, we'll probably do this at least once a month. And maybe BMT one of this time me and you we'll schedule something on that Twitter, because there's a lot of people over there too. Somebody up in the chat in the clouds, y'all can press a thumbs up. Y'all can say something. Y'all can make a comment. All right, BMT. Yep. We're about to head off. It's about an hour now, so just any last words on the mental health game, and just advice, and just just some self-esteem stuff maybe that you want people to know. I can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn Bluetooth. Y'all, just because we don't have the idea of marriage stood up of how a family used to be, don't mean we don't have a family.
Right.
Nature always finds a way.
I like that.
Always finds a way.
Yeah.
When I said that we don't allow this, the older man understood. And I think that's something that a lot of men and women, they bow against. Like you and I both say, "Hey, sister, I want a family. I want to make you an honest woman."
Right.
Well, if I do that, what am I gonna have to give up? What am I gonna lose?
That's a big deal. Dang, you cutting in and out too.
Yeah, shit, they were holding me back.
Yeah,
but
it's the damn.
I done said all that shit right after that beautiful language. I still say what I done.
People, they against us. They against us. Nah, maybe it's just the Bluetooth. Nah, it's just the Bluetooth. What's up, everybody? I see people popping in. Y'all, y'all could go ahead and press the thumbs up. We almost about to end it off unless somebody got a real serious situation. If y'all want to talk about it, y'all could come up. This is one of them shows. I'm going to try to do stuff like this maybe once a month at least. So, just open it up for people. Just say what you want to say. Nobody going to attack you. I'm probably going to start calling these safe spaces. We'll try that. What about that? That's a good name. Safe space. So you can just say what you're going to say, and people will listen. I think that'd be a good little series or a little ongoing service for mental health. What's going on, LS?
Yo, what's going on?
That's Leroy. What's up, Stanley?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Man, it's all good. Trying to get in on this convo before y'all dip out.
Go ahead, BMT. What you were saying?
No, I'm about to back out. You just came right when I'm about to back out. But my shit has been on and off, and I'm getting frustrated.
No, don't run now. No, I'm kidding,
You
bro.
know,
I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding.
like, you good. Like I said, I'm watching. It's just that,
Right.
like, no, everything I've been saying, then I'll be saying something, then you don't hear nothing. Like, that's just how it is, man. But I'll
It's all
definitely
good.
be watching. Go ahead,
It's all
brother.
good. It's all good, big bro. Nah, what's up, Leroy, man? What do you think? Yeah, we're just doing the mental health thing because it's basically, I feel like it's not about necessarily views and all that kind of thing, but it's just a situation where, black folks, like BMT was saying earlier, like, we got all the slavery situation happened, the crack era and all this Jim Crow and all this stuff that's been happening to our people for hundreds and hundreds of years, and all the slavery and incarceration and jail. Like, how was we supposed to act? What time, bro? Did somebody was like, you know what? We're gonna do a mass little healing on y'all with some mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Experimentation.
Well, no, I'm talking about somebody that cares about you. Like, okay, we're gonna fix y'all as far as helping you. Like, so who's teaching us to, like, the mental health section? Like, how are we gonna get through that?
I mean, the things you mentioned, were and / are trauma that is happening, in our community and to our community. I mean,
Right.
it's a twofold thing, and perpetrators of this know that. And the one of the most diabolical things about it is when they get us to do it to us. Whether it's I mean, if we're gonna use the term crack babies, then that means it's got to be some crack mamas, right? That's some crack daddies.
Right. This is a crack era. It was crack era, and that's what the brother was saying. He was saying how, like, I don't know if you remember, but it was that propaganda where they was like, the crack babies are coming. Beware. They had a whole movie there, right? So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say now we have different kinds of babies being born. I mean, the assault, they may change what tool they use, but the assault never stops.
Right.
And for some reason, they love going after us. Not that other communities don't get hit, but it's like they, on some level, know if we can get them, then everyone else will fall into place.
Right. Well, it's like this. We got to start working on our own mental health. And I know that's why I was saying too earlier, I know we need professional help. A lot of us do. But to be real, it's people out here killing their girlfriends. It's people out here killing their husbands and killing their boyfriends, killing themselves.
Yep.
Overdosing on drugs because they don't want to deal with the realities of life. People out here having serious issues, some real serious stuff. And they get weaponized because, like, you might be handling your family right. You know what I'm saying? So you might be handling, let's say, a couple thousand black folks handling their family good, a couple million black people handling their family good. But then you got a couple thousand that's all messy. Ain't got nobody to turn to. Then now here you go. You got big problems because who are we doing something to create this outlet for our community to get some of this mental health off of their chest before they do something crazy as hell?
Kind of like the I think her Miss USA.
What happened?
Exactly.
She said,
I mean, bro.
Well, do we? I don't know. That's what they say. They say she killed herself. I don't know, man. That's jumping off a building.
And you in a literal and figurative sense, at the top of the world in terms of success, if you want to characterize it like that, you leading in your field. Her field is beauty. Boom, she at the top.
Right.
to go from that, from jumping. And I get you on the other side because there are. I'm just gonna go on and say it, bro. There are murders that happen in our community and in the world, period, that are called something else. Are
Right.
called suicide. Are called quote accidents.
Yeah.
And like Jeffrey Epstein, was that did he got suicided or did something else happen?
In jail, in a facility jail, by himself in a thing, with what do you call that? Padding on the
Solitaire.
padding.
Well, not solitaire, because he had a cellmate. And check this out, not to cut you off, my bad, Mike. Let me get it in. His own cellmate just died from quote. Guess what? The issue that's going around now. You know, the what everybody has to get a shot for. He supposedly died from that.
The big lie. The big damn lie.
Oh boy, other people say other things are the big lie, but that's an accurate description.
The big lie. It should be apparent now.
Whew.
I don't know. Maybe it's not apparent, but
It should. How can it not?
I try to think about people. There's different sections of our people. There's different categories of our people, and we don't. A lot of times we don't understand because let's say we in a certain family. Your family has been, let's say, spiritual. If your grandparents was kind of spiritual, your parents came up on something. You know, this stuff kind of runs in your family, and you feel like it's normal. And it might be a lot of people in your area it's normal for, but there's other sections of the country, there's other sections, you know, and some of our people, you know, we believe in fakeness. We don't second guess folks. And that's another issue with the mental health thing, because like, for example, so we had the crack baby thing, right? They was talking about us when it was our community, but now you got the opioid situation. You got opioid babies.
Bro, when it come to that opioid stuff, it is incredible how different the situations are being dealt with and the events that happen around it. You know, we locked up, given mandatory minimum sentences that end up going more times than not heavily to the mandatory side. While with this opium deal here in Atlanta, Johns Creek is north of Atlanta. This individual 2 different times OD on
fentanyl.
Heroin. Fentanyl. Was it fentanyl? You know the story I'm talking about?
I don't know. Go ahead. Tell us a little basic.
Well, I don't think it was fentanyl, but I think it was heroin. He OD'd 2 different times. They used the Narcan and brought him back. But the second time he did it, and he called the police. And that was later used as the excuse for why he wasn't charged. The second time he OD'd, a child was present. They didn't mention whether or not the child was in the room or anything else. But even if the child is in the house, if a person ODs, you know, that's child endangerment. You know, there's some other charges that go along with it. They never showed this person on TV, at least from the stories I saw. But they said that he was not going to be charged because he called the police to let them know.
Lord.
And, you know, they sent emergencies and all that. I mean, it is very stark, the difference in how both situations are treated.
Is it Carly Jackson? I think it's Carly Jackson, if that's what you talking about, because I think I just pulled it up.
I don't remember the names. I thought it was a guy. I mean, but there are other instances in Roswell. This is gonna trip you out. This white chick, she got caught with like gallons of GHB, ecstasy pills.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't really ever said this, because since you brought this up, when I was living in, no, actually, this was in Cobb County. When I had set up and got put in jail because my license was suspended when I was driving, and they got me. Right? They put me in jail.
Okay.
They put me in jail for 2 days. So they got me in jail with rapists and the dude who just killed somebody.
Okay.
The one who just killed somebody is a white guy, and he was running. I guess they sat up here and took him alive, but he had shotguns at the police and everything. But and then they had this 18-year-old boy that was in jail, black boy, because the mom was mad because he was dating her daughter, and the daughter was 17. They said statutory rape, so they put this boy in jail. He shouldn't have been there. This other brother, he's in jail. He was telling me how they were cooking up. Well, I guess he was selling drugs, so he admitted it. I was like, bro, don't say that. They got cameras and stuff.
Yeah, don't tell on yourself.
Right, but they was telling on themselves. I don't know why they was telling me. I'm not bro, don't tell me nothing. And then this white guy, he really went into detail about what he did. I'm like, damn, you sitting up here talking about all this stuff, brother. He was talking about how they go into the woods and cook up the, what is it called? The stuff that they, whatever they take, man. I think it was meth at that time.
Oh boy, it's meth. Everything is in meth except the kitchen sink.
Bro, like, I was like, but he was talking about how, oh yeah, they'll let me out and this and that, and yeah, I did it before, and I don't police try to get me. He was talking about how he was resisting arrest and everything. So I'm like, bro, like, see, we gotta understand, like, everything that we need, we got to do. This is what we got to get in our heads as a group, and we got the ability to do it. We well able. We have enough people to do these things for ourselves, but we got to start spreading around the mentality. That's the hardest part, is for us to start trusting each other to do these things for ourselves, because that's the only way it's going to get done. So whether it's mental health, whether it's, like when we're dealing with, we can't go by what these news people tell us, because you see how they treat each other. They care about each other. That's what you do. The way that they handle the war on drugs when it's happening to people they care about, it's different. You see that, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. And if you're close to, if we can put it like this, part of their inner circle or close to it, because
you only trick yourself as black. Look at Whoopi and Oprah.
Oh my goodness.
You only trick yourself. This is a woman who changed her name. She changed her name and said to everybody, "I'm Jewish."
Yeah,
yeah.
I heard this week that, and I had no idea. Did she at some point convert to Judaism as well?
Yeah, she did that a long time ago. That's when she changed her name. So she felt like she was Jewish, and they know her. Come on now, we don't even go into that history, but the point is, she thought she was something that she was not.
But she thought she had protection.
They let her believe that she was up in the inner circles, but she was not allowed to speak on something that because she was correct in what she said in that little stupid interview, that little whatever. The little statement and comment that she made, that the Holocaust is not about race. She right. She knows, and they know she's right, because both of those two groups of white people.
That and what the ultimate goal of World War II was, and we see that as the modern state of where.
Right, but at the same time, she's not allowed to speak on that.
So does that make her anti-Semitic because she spoke on something they didn't approve of?
It could be true, and they even tell you it could be true, but they don't. They're putting you in your place, like, you're
like Nick Cannon.
Yeah, you're not allowed to tell us. See, that's who's boss. We get to tell you about you, but you're not allowed to tell us about us. That's how you know who's dominant and who's subordinate.
Even though they can tell us about them ad nauseum to the point of never forget.
Right. And that's okay, but you not start doing that about yourself. And see, so that lets you know now if you accept this ideology, then you submit it. If you accept that, you have mentally submitted. Now the thing is, I encourage people just don't submit mentally. Even though, yeah, you're gonna work there, you can be friendly, be simple, but you don't mentally submit to someone and you know what they're doing. That's our problem. No. We submit because we want to be friends. Our friendship is a big deal to Black people. Yeah, but
it is. It is, but we as a group, and I guess as individuals within the group, some of us have to, and this may be asking a lot, that when someone who does care about you gives you the correct information, man, it's disheartening when they don't act on it. And I'll just use my own personal experience. I told my god brother, look, don't, the jab is not where it's at. Gave him reasons why. He told me how his brother, my godparents, his parents, and other family members still did it. This was, 7 months ago. He called me last week. Everybody has it now.
See?
Not the shot. Now they are all testing positive.
I know. Same thing. But see, this is where you know what scripture is about. It's like, what's your job? All your job is to tell, to teach, because then the blood is off of your hands, because each individual has to make that decision. But there's going to be a certain select people who are going to resist because they understand what's happening. But at the same time, I don't think everybody's going to go away. I'll say it that way. Everybody ain't going to pass away. A lot will pass away. But we already know that there's a thing called the hereafter, and the way we interpret that is basically it is here. It's right here where we're at, but it's after a certain event happens, and there's going to be survivors, which is we hopefully we among that number, right? And then so we're going to have the knowledge to go ahead and build up folks. And this is the thing here. This is what I'm thinking that we have to start doing. We have to start making sure in practical terms, like we understand really what's going on, and we start solving the problems in our families, in our communities, because that's where it starts from. Once you can get yourself you ain't gonna solve it completely, but once you can start getting your family kind of organized and they're trusting you, and then you can start moving past that.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys to that is role definition, and inside the family, everyone understanding what their role is and being comfortable in that, and understanding that it's nothing wrong with the role. I think that's where, and I could be wrong, I think that's where some women end up going into this feminism that isn't productive.
Let me play this for you. It's so interesting that you went into that, because we had a talk about this, and it'd be cool for you. What's your handle on Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
Am I? I think no, I don't think so. I'm on Instagram barely.
Okay. Yeah,
that's another subject about all the platforms being controlled, but by the same group we've been talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are. this is what I'm trying to tell people. Like, if we're actually running around here with the dominant mentality. That's why they say organized truth. A disorganized truth is not stronger than an organized lie. But if you start organizing your truth, it don't matter just because they control it. They can't beat you. They can only censor because they don't have a winning
position.
argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's our job to go on some of these platforms and make sure that voice, you have to have your mind there to present the other side, so that here maybe some people can think a little bit better. That's all it is. That's the whole point of all the teachings that you've gotten your entire life. That's the reason why those teachings are important, is because the people's actions come from as a result of what they believe and what they think. And if they're only hearing one side, they don't know. So this is what they're gonna do. Oh well, the doctor said take the shot. Okay, well, shit, take it. That's all they know. They don't have any frame of reference to resist it. But if you got somebody that say, hey, let's think about this here. Let's check this out. Check that out. Just asking questions. It would make some people say, well, yeah, that does make sense. Let me investigate it a little bit at least. Some of them may not investigate it, but some will, and you can help folks. But no, when you said this with the gender roles, let's see if I can get on this, because this actually came up.
And it doesn't make an argument.
Hold on.
Balls, and we say estrogen. Do you mean
what?
Well,
that's interesting cut in
to shape and mold the conversation. Michael and I, we were copacetic and fine.
Okay,
with a higher degree of testosterone.
Okay, here it is.
We just want to try to
science and psychology, and I've been doing this for almost 30.
So I'm not saying that, like, I'm not trying to put it in this like binary way of like, oh yes, like this is like the traits of a man and traits of a woman. There are masculine traits. There are like categorically feminine traits, but it's a matter of not necessarily, yes, like I do believe people should tap inside their feminine side and their masculine side. They have to go one in one, because there are things society, like culturally, that are taught that those would be categorically masculine traits, but then they like work to someone's detriment as opposed to someone's benefit. So I think we are actually in agreement with one another. I think the semantics may have gotten miscommunicated, but I like everyone's points that have been made, especially James, Unique. Y'all killing the points now.
I want to push back a little bit on you, Jacoby.
I do too.
I just want to say,
now listen to this position here. This is the part that I'm glad I was there and I got them, but I don't. You'll hear some of it. I'm not gonna play my whole answer because I don't want to go too long. But this is the reason why I encourage. Like, this is the reason why I do this YouTube thing and I do some of the social media stuff. I don't care about no views and stuff like people. I'm not worried about that. But I guess I should. I'm thinking
they manipulate those views to the good and bad. Right. If you putting the truth out there, they're gonna make you look like you 3 people watching. Yeah. And if you lie like anything you want to imagine, they're giving you all the views.
Yeah,
but you can look at the comments and see they got 10 comments. Like this doesn't equal 100,000 views. You got 10 comments.
And they can get you to actually be views too. They know they can put you in front of certain people. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, I'm thinking like maybe I need to rethink that, because it is important to get something in front of people where you got to. I ain't gonna say you're not compromising, but what I found now is, okay, what I'll do is I'll direct you over there to Vimeo. I'll direct you over there to Black Junction or the Black Enough. I know you got roasted a little bit over there on Black Enough, didn't you?
I mean, they are just look. I mean, but it's like that on any platform. You know,
Yeah,
you're gonna run into pushback, which I'm fine with, but at least, have pushback that is logical. It's when it's not even logical that does irritate me. Not to the point of cursing someone out, but it is irritating and kind of disappointing because it's like, dude, if that's the best you got, let it go. I mean, with the gender roles, the guy was just talking about, the level of
Let me hear this part though. This is the part I really want you to hear. This is the
Okay.
response, because he was responding to something, and I just let it play because I didn't want to miss this part right here. This is where they respond, and just listen to it, and we'll see what you think.
Could you name a feminine trait and what is a masculine trait? Because I'm gonna toot my own horn. I have a PhD in behavioral science and psychology, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years.
I knew it.
I'm curious, what is a masculine trait and what is a feminine trait? I'm curious because that's where they're just traits.
And I want to add something too before he answers, because I have a question too. The thing that I was saying was, I'm not saying that the difference is that those things are not inherent. Okay, and that's the conversation that we have to have. That's all. That's all I want to say about that.
I can answer that question.
All right, but not answer them. But what do you think?
See, and that's when mental health. Maybe they have the mental health issue. The people who aren't seeing it straight, because he is trying to say that he's asking for a definition of a feminine trait and a masculine trait. When for those of us who are, be insulted if you want, normal, we already know what those things are.
Right.
And it's evident. Even in, and someone said this, I forgot where I heard it, but even in those types of relationships, they still follow what the norm is. When you have a same-sex relationship, one person is playing the role of the other. So they are still following what the norm is. They just aren't adhering to what the actual norm is. And
now let me ask you this here, Leroy. Now, my thing is this, and I mean, I could just tell my answer because I don't. To me, it's more important. Like, we get so caught up in debate sometimes, and we never actually win. You know what I mean by that? Because what ends up happening is, of course, he asked the question in such a way, whereas you start naming things, and it doesn't matter what you say, he's going to just start just saying,
giving you his credentials,
right?
as if that is a determination of truth or your adherence to truth. Because too many times, unfortunately, we have people in our community who had the credentials, but then they start talking, and this, whoa. Right. Whoa, did you you want to ask them, did you hear what you just said?
That's what I was saying earlier. And I think I was telling BMT that I was like, a lot of our people in our community don't understand that education is a part of an indoctrination. And you got to get that education. So you got to get it, but you still got to make sure you understand, this needs to be actually used in a functional manner. And if I'm trying to apply this information and it's just not really working like I thought it should work, it's not anything wrong with the people that I'm trying to apply it to. It's something wrong with what you was teaching me. You see what I'm saying? And that's where we kind of make the disconnect, because a lot of us get educated and we get disconnected from our society, of our group of people sometimes. It's because when we start trying to, enact our education, we're trying to enact doctrine, and then the people are rejecting doctrine. Like, man, you don't make sense what you're saying here. This doesn't make any sense. And then we get angry because you're not listening to me. Do you understand? I have it on paper. Let me show it to you. I have a PhD and a master's degree of, social psychology and childhood behavioral science and social epileptic, mannerisms. And like, bro, really?
But then when you move to apply that in the real world, it doesn't match. I mean, I think that's because some of us, when we attend these colleges, you go there to become educated, not to get a good job. Maybe they equate, leaving there with the paperwork and getting a good job with, that means everything they said was right. No, that doesn't mean that. Because once you apply the real world experience, like there are those with PhDs who, by this, possibility of males becoming females. I mean, look at the University of Penn State situation with the swimmer.
Right.
ESPN won't even touch that. They won't say one mumbling word about that. But they'll give you what's going on with Brian Flores.
Right. And the thing is, it's like this. This is what I think I'm going to break this down. We're going to probably end it off a little bit because I don't like to make these things too long because it's been about an hour and a half now. But I'm going to let you answer and we'll chill out. I know you just got on about 30 minutes, but like I said, we'll try to do this every yada yada. Are you over here on the YouTube thing too? Did you subscribe to that one? Or you came from Facebook?
It came from YouTube.
Okay.
Right, hit the link.
Right. Okay, cool. No, but
go ahead.
Now, what was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say it is very elemental that people understand their roles and be comfortable in it. And I can't stress enough that it's nothing wrong with people. With the male and female roles, children have their roles, but now you see. And this is rabbit trail, but it shows you how others are stepping into their own role when you have children now refusing to wear masks, and they're in elementary school.
Right.
You can say it's because of, they see their parents, and that's definitely a part of it. But for them to have the initiative to go that far, I mean, people have to be comfortable in their role. That's where I want to kind of leave it. And hold on, and understand that mental health, on some level, and this is definitely a rabbit trail, on some level, at times it can be a possession of entities that it happened. Because I mean, what else do you call bipolar? What do you call schizophrenia? That those who know are familiar with Legion. Right.
And the thing is, though, this is how I listen to it. This is how I say it. These things are so deep. You don't want to go. I don't like necessarily like concept. Like, you got to kind of take these concepts piecemeal at a time to walk people through it so that they are with you. Like, for example, like if I start talking about aliens, right? If somebody doesn't have a foundation to understand that, it doesn't matter how true what I'm saying is, they're lost, because from the spot where they are to where I'm talking, they don't understand how that connects. So like when you're dealing with these different sorts of sections of mental health issues, especially in a society that is literally built on misinformation, these people somebody else of misinformation. Oh yeah, their whole thing is set up on misinformation way back from crack, and that's why they don't. And this is okay. So
and before that,
with the CRT, they don't want Black history. They changed Black history into this word called CRT, and then they made a conservative issue. So now, if you are conservative, then you have to be against CRT, but that's Black history.
But check it out, Mike. We got to be smart enough to know how to use that against them. And from what I've seen, our best chess move on this is drop CRT. Instead of trying to go hard on CRT, let's just go with, okay, teach actual history. What happened? Whatever happened. Just teach everything that happened instead of sugarcoating it.
Let me say
You
this
know,
here. Let me say this here. Let me say this here. And you're right. And I can agree with that. But this is the reason why Black people have to do everything on their own. We have to understand, like, we can't get caught up in these people's stuff. Now we could support things, so we got to be very, very careful. We got to be rooted in ourselves. This is where being rooted in your own community. That's the reason why that's so important, because these people, now CRT, you look at it, nobody knew what CRT was because it was never taught.
it's up on what, the collegiate and graduate level.
Right.
Now they
So,
want to put in elementary school.
but wait,
I mean,
but,
even that's not even logical.
but wait a minute.
If it was something else besides CRT.
Right. Now, wait a minute, though. They also, in telling you CRT was taught on the collegiate level, excuse me, they also actually started to include things in CRT in this definition of the public definition. They're changing the definition of it. Okay? Because it is, if you look at what I've seen, it's just the history that Black people been telling. It's just real history. Most of it, I mean, I don't know.
The parts that they leave out.
Yeah. So you can't say that this is CRT. If I tell you about Harriet Tubman, if I tell you about Callie House, if I tell you about, the Deacons of Defense, if I tell you about, Mound
Thomas Jefferson and Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yeah, if I tell you about these people, the Black Power Revolution, that's not CRT. That's our history, bro. So don't be trying to include just cannonball and just grab all of our stuff that you never liked in the first place and then put it inside of this definition that you're telling everybody to hate. Because I could get with you CRT on the practical level of what was taught in the collegiate level. Maybe that's not ready for the elementary. On the principle of what that word meant back then. But now what y'all saying this word means? No.
Well, we living in a time where, changing the definitions of words is standard, unfortunately, and not in a slang way. Because I mean, we've done that in our community for who knows how long. Right. I'm talking about in official ways that we are actually seeing definitions of word change, and then society acting on the change, and not even acknowledging, or we're given the impression that it's not being acknowledged, that it's being changed. Because you understand that, I understand that, and there are many others who do. If for all the differences any of us may have, if we could come together on that, and once again, those can be insulted if they want to. I'm talking about normal people.
No, but let me play my answer to him, and let's see how he responds. And you're gonna hear this. This is fun. This, to me, it was interesting.
Okay,
I'm gonna answer that question.
Okay, about the traits.
Yes.
And I take it that you yelled out, "I knew it" or something.
No, that was me. Sorry, James.
Hey, I was
Well, you said the PhD. I said I knew it. This wasn't.
There
this
you
ain't
go.
no.
Thank you.
Yeah, James is
okay.
not dumb.
So okay, I'm gonna let Michael talk. Thank you, Michael.
No, I'm gonna answer that. But before I answer it, I do want to bring down the charge a little bit, because, of course, we want to still keep in mind the topic is emotional awareness. Okay, and a lot of us 100% believe that we know what we know, and sometimes we're going to argue even about the answer, but we just want to try to at least give the other person the benefit of the doubt to listen. I know we learn. I have a little a bachelor's degree, I study psychology too. So, but I'm looking at practicality. So the point is, the thing, uh, the biological thing called testosterone, which is that comes with the behavior. Estrogen comes with the behavior. Males and females both have both substances, but just in different ratios.
Levels.
Men have testosterone in a higher ratio than women have testosterone, but both have it. Men have estrogen, but women have estrogen in a higher ratio. And both of those, I forget the exact term for them, but they're basically hormones. Okay, that's it. Both of
Hello.
Yeah, I must have got clicked over, but it's all right. No, but
But
the
it's
point is he couldn't say anything after that because that's just the fact. This is when people talk about masculine traits and feminine traits. When you're talking about masculine and feminine roles and child roles, just take them to the bottom line biology. Those hormones, if I give you, that's why they have it right on TV. Every time they run a medication, this may give you thoughts of suicide. Oh, this may give you, this may give you, weird period situations. Because these things, the actual hormone itself can give you a thought. You don't even know what the hell's going on because you done took a certain medicine. You're like, what the hell popped in my mind? So this is why when we're talking about mental health, guys, read the ingredients on your food. Read what's in that stuff, especially that frozen food, because a lot of that stuff attacks your serotonin, and it is extra estrogen in a lot of this stuff.
That Impossible Burger. Stay away from it.
You better stay away from it. And anything that has soy, like tofu, soy, that is literally pure estrogen.
Milk, not the milk that's made from soy.
Right. And you got to check it out. Check it out. Just check it out. We can't get away. They done flooded the entire dang on food with it. So you're going to get some of it. Okay. But you can balance this stuff. Okay. When you know what's going on. That's why I was saying with mental health, a lot of stuff, it's not just dealing with the talkings. A lot of it is talking, and making sure people can understand what's happening in their life. But a lot of it, we better understand that is this poison, this food, man.
You sound a little bit like Alex Jones. Mike. Remember years back he said that chemicals are making the frogs gay.
Hey, you look earlier on this channel here. On this channel, it's called "Are We Buying Our Own?" What did I say? I titled those things. I said, "Are we buying our own murder weapons?" And yeah, that was the subject right there. Yep.
I mean, men have the XY, women have the XX. But now they're taking that whole situation and trying to turn it on its head by saying, well, if a man takes enough XX, then he is a woman.
See?
No, it still doesn't work like that. There are over 3,600 markers in the DNA that show a man from a woman.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. But what they can do, and this is true, we got to be careful. We got to be careful as well on this side as well. We can't be presenting stuff as if we're an enemy. That's the reason why the way I answered them, I just wanted to make sure people understand, this is not, because people get sensitive and like you're attacking them or stuff like that. Like, no, this is just what has happened to us. A lot of this stuff can be changed. Oh, shoot. No problem. No, I was saying this is what's been happening to us. So we can't get we can't present ourselves as like a little enemy to people, because a lot of this stuff is just the reality of what it is. These people have been running game on us for hundreds of years. So as we try to reverse this process of death, basically, we don't want to alienate people for no reason. Like, especially like if you can explain stuff in a way to people where they understand, like, you're not being an enemy to them. This is what it is. And they will go on their own rabbit hole and find out. And then they can actually find out how to start to heal themselves. Because a lot of this stuff, if they want to, I'll say it that way.
Yes. Thank you for the caveat.
Right. We're not going to get, I don't expect people in like an immediate conversation with me to just believe and agree with what I say. Because especially if they haven't really heard it, they're going to be like, no, I don't, that's not true. And I'm just going to be like, okay. But when it's somebody you know, like I mentioned, my god brother and my, god family, even worse.
We know each other. Know each other.
But that's even worse, because they seen you when you was wrong and when you was growing up. They don't believe you.
Why am I lie to you?
But they don't know.
When I know you,
they
not kind of know.
They think you stupid, man. That's your family. They don't know that you know. They know that you think you know.
I mean, so another cousin of mine, after not seeing him for almost a year, when all this stuff started, 2 years, when he saw me, he had on a mask. I didn't even know who he was. He said, "It's me, Corey." That's my middle name. I was like, "Oh man, what's up, Mike?" He pulled down the mask. He said, "You took the jab?" I asked, "Had you taken the jab?" He said, "Yeah." I'm like, "What?" He told me, "Man, I already know you didn't take it," because he know me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like people like my family. Well, I got one cousin. This is all I do, because see, we gotta understand everybody's their life and everything. All I do is present information, put it out there, and the ones who get excited by the information, they'll come to me, start questioning, right? And then I'll have to answer for them or whatever. But I don't like push it on them, because what's gonna end up happening, if this is in their face, they're gonna ignore it all. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Leroy, he always putting this stuff out here. This boy always, because they know you, especially your family. They don't believe you. You know, like
thanks.
You know, that's what happens. It's got to be somebody else that tell them, not you. And then they're like, "Damn." But sometimes you can actually mess it up for some of your family, because if you the first one who said it, and then they're like, "Man, this dude is gonna think I was listening to him," and so they would literally, on purpose, avoid the truth just because you said it, and they don't want you to be right. You know what I'm saying? That's a shame for some people, but that's how it is for some people. Usually your children or the kids or those who look up to you, they will listen to you like that. But those who grew up with you, who seen you when you was peeing in the bed or whatever you did, you stole something from the store, they're not
at your worst.
Yeah, they're not about to listen to you like that. They're going to hear what you're saying. But what I do is I put the information out there. I just put it out. I just spread it. And then it makes them feel like once they're really interested, they pick it up on their own, and they'll be like, okay. And then they'll get it. Like my grandmother told me straight up, she's like, "Michael, if you was, what'd she say? Boy, if you was 10 years old again, you would have that shot." You would have that shot. Now I know for a fact that my grandmother loves me. I know this for a fact.
Yeah.
And this is the same grandmother. She told me, "Oh, I believe anything Whoopi say."
Wow.
Yeah.
So, she still believe that.
She loves Whoopi Goldberg, so she.
Oh my goodness.
But the thing is, it's like you're not going to logically work with that, because it's not about logic. It's about emotions and feelings and trust. Okay. and those are real deals. Those are real deals. And a lot of times we have confusion. That's why we get into arguments with people, because we don't have that emotional maturity. And a lot of us don't know how to deal with emotional convincing versus logical convincing. And this is the science that we're going to have to deal with, because this is what these folks have put on us. They know how to deal with emotional. That's why Cardi B is out there. That's why, they got to get your booties to the polls and all of this weird. This is all this weird stuff that black folks have to deal with. We have to deal with.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
The most insulting things, and because they're just constantly berating your, and you're just like, man, dang, this.
But bro, I got another cousin who's an accountant who's smart. I mean, you got to be smart to pull out being an accountant. Getting your CPA.
I got a kind of agree, but keep going.
well, I was never good in math. That's why to me it's you're really excelling, you're knocking that out. But he fell for the if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, what he meant was, I'm like, bro, it is not your blackness can and will never be determined by you whether or not you vote for a white man.
Right.
And
we need to see. This is what I'm saying. Like that's why I do this channel. That's the whole point. This is the whole point, because it's a lot of weird stuff that we get hit with, and a lot of it's tied to money, votes, emotion, bunch of stuff, and that's cool. We got to learn how to work with this emotion, because emotion is part of our motivation, but we got to learn how to resist dumb stuff and deal with real, even though we're emotionally tied to it. Because if we notice this, and we know this for a fact, if we want to believe something, we're going to get that confirmation bias. We're going to do that confirmation. All it takes is one little thing. Well, what did he do? He put Maya Angelou on the quarter. You got to vote for that. Woo!
Can we get some money? How about that? Can we get some money, not words on some money?
That's a step for him dreaming to almost probably give us a piece of portion of
nothing.
His possibility that if you would have thought about it 10 years ago, that John Lewis dreamed about coming to being in the future, sometime in the ethereal world of Asgard somewhere. So,
yeah.
So if that man do one little piece of a thing, he can do 1,000 other things. That's the confirmation bias. He trying, man. He trying.
Trying by doing absolutely nothing but placating and pandering.
Worse than that, he's actually hurting us. He's actually hurting us, because this is, so the point is, like I said, mental health. We can't be attacking people. Even though our people set us up for us want to attack them, but we got to have that kind of safe space where we can say all our crazy stuff. And we people who, if we believe we're correct and we have the right mentality, we got to have the patience to let some of this stuff blow off as steam and think of it, and then go ahead and dictate and talk once some of that extra charges go off. We can't get into debates, arguments, and then make people feel bad for saying, I guess you are right. Because if somebody says, I guess you are right, and then you be like, man, see, I told you, you dumb. See, I tried to tell you.
Hey, look, the bar phrase for a bubble, which I don't necessarily like to do, after Osama bin Laden was, quote, supposedly killed, he said, what, we don't want to be seen spiking the football, celebrating, basically.
Right. We can do that. Like when somebody, let's say somebody says, I don't know, something stupid. Carrots grow on trees. They don't grow in the ground. and they are serious to you. You like, bro, carrots are a root. No, they're not. You're growing trees. You know what I mean? And they sit up here and whatever. They're getting all emotional. If you sit up here and banter back and forth with somebody like that, you're not going to win, even though you're correct. You got to let them out, and then just like, okay, well, do you see this picture? And don't even say you see this picture and look at them. Just be like, just put a picture somewhere and walk away and let them figure that out. Don't even go back.
They got to see it for themselves.
Right. That's what I'm saying. People got to have their period of time to grow without being, so they can be vulnerable, because you got to have that period of time. Otherwise, you're going to stay right there in your safe zone. So, all right, Leroy, man, I'm glad you came on, brother. BMT.
Yeah, it was good chopping it up.
I'm glad, brother. I hope to hear from y'all more, because we need the smart people in out here, dealing in the world, the good people. We gotta keep on, because we inspire each other. When y'all go out there, we inspire more good people. This is the new method. So this is the new method of growing the community. So hopefully we can all keep on doing this and grow everything. And I'm glad you came, brother. Thank you. I love you, brother. Blessing to your family. Blessing to, everything that you got going on. Oh yeah, you hooked me up with some electrical contracting stuff. I'm getting this license.
That's what's up.
That's a mental deal myself, So I got to level myself up mentally. So that's a whole nother conversation. But all right, big brother. All right, peace.
It's all good.
Head out. Peace out, family.
All right.